Good afternoon, all the participants. Let's start with 3 days faculty development program, 21st century teaching skills. Let's begin with prayer. Now I welcome our ma'am, Rehana Tiladavia, Department of Arabic in our college. So start with prayer. Let's start with 3 days faculty development program, 21st century teaching skills. Let's begin with prayer. Now I welcome our ma'am, Rehana Tiladavia, Department of Arabic in our college. So start with prayer. Start with 3 days faculty development program, 21st century teaching skills. Let's begin with prayer. Now I welcome our ma'am, Rehana Tiladavia, Department of Arabic in our college. So start with prayer. Start with 3 days.
آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, ma'am. We are happy to conduct this faculty development program for all the teachers. Once again, I welcome all the teachers and our resource persons. Welcome, ma'am. First, I would like to welcome our management, Honorable Chairman of Muhammad Sadak Trust, Alhaj S.M. Muhammad Yusuf, and Janaba S.M.H. Sarmila, Secretary of Muhammad Sadak Trust. Next, I warm welcome goes to our beloved principal, Dr. A.R. Nadra Banu Kamal, who is backbone of our college. She is always think about betterment of our college and our students' education and career. She is a moral supporter for us. I welcome ma'am. Next, I cordially welcome our resource person of this faculty development program, Adya Bansal, a writer, teacher trainer, director of Aleph Academy, CEO Aleph Academy of Education Service Limited, Hong Kong. She has completed MSc Zoology, MA English, BGDE. In the year of 2019 and 20, she offered scholastic performance and enhanced employability development program to faculty in our college and also offered so many programs in various schools and colleges. I'm very glad and proud to welcome such eminent resource person today. Welcome, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome all the participants who are attending this FTP. Now, I give a short introduction about our college. Muhammad Sadaq Hamid College of Arts and Science for Women started in 2018 and offered 6 courses: BA English, BSc Mathematics, BSc Computer Science, BCA, BSc IT, and BCom with Computer Applications. Now, our college staffs are well experienced and qualified. In our information technology department, providing several faculty development programs and several facilities to students like a smart class, a spacious lab facilities, and online classes, and also educations. Also, we're conducting many competitions to improve the students' digital creativity mind. Thank you. All the participants kindly follow the instruction, mute your video and audio, and question answer session towards the end. You can post your questions only through the live chat box. Avoid unnecessary chats during the presentation. The assignments form will be posted in the chat box at the end of the sessions. Don't interrupt the speaker during the presentations. The participants should be attend all the 3 days and complete your assignments. Then only you will get the certificate. Once again, I welcome you all. Then I kindly invite to our principal, Dr. A.R. Nadra Banu Kamal, to address the gathering. Welcome, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a happy day to all of you. I extend my hearty welcome to the resource person, Sister Atya Bansala, and all the participants who have joined us through this webinar. Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft, says that leader will be those who empower others. And we, as a teacher, are the facilitators of students' learning and creator of productive classrooms environment in which students can develop the skills they might need at present or in future. So our role is also to empower our students. Education in the 21st century highlights globalization and internationalization. National curricula around the world emphasizes the need emphasize the acquisition of 21st century skills. There is a broad consensus that there is a broad consensus that learners and future employees need competency such as critical thinking and collaboration. But today's education curricula call for more rote learning and memorization. The role as a teacher at present can be a great way to pay individual attention to students. It can also allow a teacher to tailor-make a course to fit specific students' needs. However, it can also lead to a student becoming too dependent or even too comfortable with one teacher and one method or a style of teaching. The education system must be outfitted with the prerequisites of ICT resources, both hardware and software, and curricula must be designed to promote a collaborative learning center environment to which students will relate and respond. The 21st century classroom should be created on the desire that students experience what they require to enter the 21st century workplace and live in the global environment. Lectures on single subject at a time which was the norm in the past. But today, collaboration is the thread of all students' learning. For instance, the collaborative project-based approach ensures that all students learn. For instance, it should incorporate the collaborative-based project approach, effective communication skills and knowledge of technology that students will need for 21st century careers and the increased globalized environment. Teachers must be able to instruct in a variety of subjects and reach students with engaging lesson plans which will enhance their critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, analyzing, interpretation, synthesizing information, research skills, and practicing interrogative questions, creativity, curiosity, etc., etc. ICT does not automatically approach or improve our teaching and learning, but teacher must do some innovations in order to motivate the learners. The improvement of the teaching learning process depends upon the strategy used by the teacher. Definitely, technology will help teachers facilitate effective teaching. The Department of IT has rightly identified the topic, and I appreciate the head of the Department of Information Technology, Mrs. Priyanka, and Assistant Professor, Ms. Rosina, for all the steps taken and utilizing the technology efficiently for conducting this webinar. I thank our management, the chairman of our Muhammad Sadak Trust, Al-Haj Muhammad Yusuf, Secretary Madam Sharmila, and the Executive Director, Mrs. Hamid Ibrahim, for their encouragement, motivation, and being with us as a support. This faculty development program will help us to know some of the 21st century skills to be possessed by the on-service teachers. Why I say some is because of the time constraint, and our skillful resource person will cover them very productively. Let's make the best use of this time, because the best way to predict the future is to create it, and let's be a part of it. Thank you. I now hand over the session to Ms. Priyanka to continue with the program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Now I hand over the session to our resource person, Adya Bansala, to take over the session, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sister. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. And of course, namaste, vanakkam, good. I don't know what time zone everyone is. For me, it is afternoon, so it is good afternoon from here. And let us begin. What can we do in next 15 minutes? Let me get started. Slideshow. Okay. What we are going to do today is, as sister said, we have to, as teachers, we have to make as much use of teaching skills as we can. So let's start. This is my project, Teaching and Learning Enhancement Program, for which I'm very happy to help people. And 3 days webinar, we'll have day one, we'll tackle 3 domains of learning, Bloom's taxonomy and higher order thinking skills. And day 2, we will go into critical thinking and also critical reading and metacognitive skills that hopefully will promote autonomous learning skills in our students. And then day 3, we'll take storytelling techniques to promote creativity. Today's topic is 21st century teaching skills, not just 21st century skills. And there is a difference. So let's see how we can handle this topic. We'll go about it like this. We'll first look at what do we mean by 21st century teaching skills. Then we'll look at what makes 21st century different from previous 20 centuries. And we'll look at what are 21st century skills one by one. The list is long, but we'll look at some prominent ones. And what tools teachers can use to integrate 21st century skills into learning tasks without deviating from the syllabus. This is the biggest problem for teachers. We cannot deviate from the syllabus. And lastly, we'll look at some of the examples, how we can design learning tasks involving multiple learning skills for students. So let's see. What do we mean by 21st century teaching skills? Let us begin from ABC, that is what is education. Education is defined as transfer of knowledge and skills, not just knowledge, but knowledge and skills from teachers to students. And transfer is the word on which we have to emphasize, because that is where the problem comes. Teachers have lots of skills, lots of knowledge, but how do we transfer it to our students? And when we talk about knowledge, we actually refer to curriculum, syllabus, subject. And when we talk about skills, it's really important because how to do something is also important along with knowledge. If we take, reading as knowledge, then read and write both will become skills. So knowledge and skills go hand in hand. And this is what teachers have been regularly updating their knowledge. They were improving qualifications by going to the universities and colleges and professional development programs. Teachers have been learning new pedagogy. They can handle flipped classroom, and they are learning about new curriculum like STEM. This is only last 20 years. The STEM stream, now it has become STREAM. And the STREAM has also become, STEM was science, technology, engineering, and maths. Then it became STEAM. It became science, technology, engineering, art, and maths. Then it became STREAM, science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and math. Now there are variations coming. Instead of reading, others are taking robotics. So it depends on what is the need of the educational institute and the world at large. Now this is something very new, streaming, where they are going science, technology, research, engineering, arts, maths, and innovation. I is for innovation. So focus of this webinar will be skills that teachers need or will need, because 21st century has already begun. The skills that teachers need or will need to transfer knowledge to their students in the 21st century. There are two aspects to this. One, they will need, and second is 21st century skills that teachers will teach to their students. Because teachers have to transfer knowledge and skills. So teachers need the skills and they also need to pass it on to their students. Okay, so we begin by what is a skill. I would suggest, Sister Priyanka, you can keep an eye on the live chat. And here is a question. Which of these is not a skill? Dying, playing, learning, dying, writing, cooking. Which one? Just let me know what answers we are getting.
Dying. Answer. Participants typing answer is dying, ma'am.
Which dying? There are two dying.
Two dying. D-Y-E-I-N-G. Yes, ma'am. Some of them told D-Y-I-N-G. Some of them told D-Y-E-I-N-G.
Okay, fantastic. This is what I tried to confuse people. Because this dying is completely different from this dying. This dye we use to dye clothes, you know. You have a white sari, you don't want to have this white sari, very difficult to maintain. So you go to the market, you find a dyer and you give it and say, okay, I make it blue and he'll do it. This is this dyeing. So this just cannot be this. This is of course dyeing. And let's see why this dyeing is a skill or not a skill. Let's look at that. Why dyeing is not a skill? We cannot learn how to die naturally. We are talking about dying, not committing suicide. We cannot learn. It's not possible I decide if I stop breathing, I'll die. No, I may still not die. I can stop breathing and then I'll start breathing again. We do not require any special training and knowledge to die. Religions talk about what happens after dying, but no religion teaches you how to die. Some have, but what you can recite when you are dying, that's completely different thing. We are talking about the act of dying. We cannot practice dying again and again and become expert in dying. Once we are dead, finish. We have no control over dying. Even if we want to live, we cannot. Its time is up. And why writing is a skill? Let us take one example, writing. We can learn how to write. We need special training and knowledge to learn how to write. And we can practice writing again and again until we become expert writers. And we have control over our learning how to write. If you don't practice, you don't learn. If you don't form your words properly, you will not learn how you use words. That is all part of writing, not just the act of writing on a paper or on a computer. You also need to formulate, how do I make my sentence? How do I start my sentence? How do I add it? Which verb should I use? Which noun should I use? A lot goes on in learning how to write. We have decided here that a skill is what we can learn. And this is true. All skills we can learn, all skills, including thinking skills. And we need special training. We have learned that special training and knowledge. When we talk about spatial training, we actually mean what strategy should I need to do this. In case of writing, we should know how to hold the pen and how to move our hand and write A and then pick up and write B. So that is a spatial training. And we must practice it again and again until we become expert and we have control over how much we want to learn. You want to learn little, you'll learn little. You want to learn more, you'll learn more. So skills have this. We need to learn and we should have a special training and knowledge to learn that skill. And to become perfect, we must practice because we have a control how much we want to learn. Now, keeping all this in mind, let us see what has happened in 21st century. Why 21st century is so different from the previous 20 centuries. Now, three things have happened in the 21st century. Number one, the world around us has begun to change at a tremendous speed. The way we live is changing by the decade. Now, maybe even by months, actually, when we come down a few minutes later, we'll talk about how it has changed from one month to another. It is not February or March. There was no lockdown. World was different. The speed of creating new knowledge has increased many folds because new research is coming almost every week. And dissemination of knowledge has become very fast. With a click, now imagine in 11th, 12th centuries, people were writing by hand. Writing 800 pages was difficult. Now, you can write 800 pages, you can print them, with a click, you can share. So three things have happened. Our life is changing, creation of knowledge has increased, and dissemination of knowledge is also increased rapidly. So we put it here, information explosion, three characteristics of 21st century, information explosion, rapid increase in creating knowledge, that is research, and rapidly improving technology. If anyone has a disagreement, please let me know, Sister Priyanka. If anyone has a disagreement, no? No? Okay, so we move on. Just to imagine how much life has changed. In 1998, 99, even in 2000, we could recognize this is a telephone. You show it to any child today and they'll ask you, what is it? They don't know what it is. Today, telephone is this, which is less of a telephone, more of a whole computer. Takes photographs for you, you can make videos, you can store your photos, and you can join a seminar, webinar, you can organize a webinar. It does almost everything for you. It has your passwords. Now, there are three lines here. Developing world is this one, red. It has increased. How much? 2014, we only have data until 2014, and today is 2020, so it must have gone up further. This is the developed world, and this is the world as such, average of developed and developing world. If one gadget, telephone, has changed so much, imagine what life is like. If we look at our life, this 21st century woman, just see, she must be a village woman, she has a computer, she has a phone also, and she can use. Maybe there is no internet or what, I don't know why she needs both telephone and computer. She could use only one of them to talk. But this is what we mean. Everyone needs to know 21st century skills now. Looking at what has happened in last 20 years. Internet explosion. Everybody has got internet. Email, which we never knew, is now email. Nobody writes letters. YouTube, it's a very, very new thing, YouTube. Now we cannot live without YouTube. Even if you want to cook something, you go on YouTube and you look at few recipes and you watch them and then you go and cook. Virtual classroom. Distant learning was always being carried out in some way or the other. But virtual classroom has made it very, very easy now. Smartphones, without the smartphones, virtual classroom is no use. You cannot connect. People are doing online shopping. Drone warfare. 2003, when America invaded Iraq, this was not their drone. When the war was still going on, drones came, and now drones are used to drop bombs and here and there. So many of them have been dropped on Afghanistan too. So this is a completely new form of warfare has started. Robots. Actually, I saw in this, when lockdown started in Bangalore, they had put a robot, with sanitizers. So anybody entering, this robot offers sanitizers. Tablets, the computer tablets, you can use them. So easy to hold, so easy to carry with you. And what has happened now? Lockdown across the world. Nobody ever imagined this may happen. World will be like this. International travel completely stopped. Pass by any airport and you will see all aeroplanes are sitting there in the hangar. Hajj is cancelled. Some people will go and carry out the ritual, but it is not the same like every year. And the biggest thing that has happened is COVID-19. So world has almost changed, and in these decades, 2 decades or less than 3 decades, we got how much? WhatsApp, email, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and these are actually the old ones. The new ones are coming every day. What I find very interesting is the Zoom. Until March end, Zoom was not free. It is only after lockdown started, Zoom made it free. For 100 participants, 40 plus 40 minutes. And this is so amazing that as soon as Zoom became free, experts, people started giving free educational webinars, started sharing like we are doing now. And each webinar is often attended by 100 people. Yeah, this is also full attendance, 100. And I'm sure people are connected on YouTube too. And there are others who connect to 400, 500 people. Now, it's a very interesting time for teachers. Because what we always dreamt that nobody is listening to us, how do we educate people? How do we educate ourselves? All this is now possible because of Zoom. And because Zoom is free. Because Zoom is free, others also made free. Google Team and others. So now choice is available. With so much change, like 1990s looks like 100 years ago. When world is changing so much, what Bernie Trilling and Charles Federer, they have written a book recently, 21st Century Skills, Learning for Life in Our Times. And I love this quote from the book. They say, world has changed so fundamentally in the last few decades, not few 100 years, in the last few decades, that the roles of learning and education in day-to-day living have also changed forever. So we have to keep this in mind. Our life as it was in 2005 or 2010 is not the same as it is now in 2020. So what are 21st century skills? Now, this Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, in short, we call it OECD, they say 21st century skills are those skills that transform students into Versailles. Now, who are Versailles? Versailles are students who can apply depth of skill, a progressively widening scope of situations and experiences. Gaining new competency, what they have learned in the university is fine, but now they have to be competent enough to learn new competencies, build relationships, and assume new roles. Look at this paper. This was presented only 3 years ago, February 2017. And this is what we want our students to be, which is a huge challenge. So here they have not given you which skills. Let us see which skills. Of course, the detailed paper has some. These, I have put them in alphabetical order. Accountability, collaboration, creative thinking skills, critical thinking, communication, Financial literacy, and I have put it in the large font because I'll talk about it in a minute. Flexibility, that is negotiating skills, information literacy, leadership, life skills, adapting to new situations, cross-cultural understanding. Dr. Nadira was talking about globalization. If we do not have any cross-cultural understanding, we cannot negotiate and talk to people. We should know how to behave in their culture. Productivity, taking initiative, accepting responsibility, team building skills, media literacy, and we'll talk about all that. Media literacy, actually, we'll talk tomorrow. Problem solving, again, we'll talk tomorrow. Technology literacy, that is IT skills, self-direction, becoming independent learner, autonomous learner, social skills. So social skills, again, extremely important, whether you live in a country which is globalized or non-globalized. You need that. But there are several versions of skills needed in the 21st century, several other lists. This is just one of them. And financial literacy, just hold on for a second and I'll talk about it. This is another sample. And I like it because it has 4 C's, creativity, critical, communicative skills, and collaborative skills. So they have put it together. Creativity skills to generate multiple ideas, to explore new solutions for existing problems, to ask challenging questions, to find ways to collaborate with others, to complete a given task on time, etc. Collaborative skills to cooperate with others, which is becoming more and more difficult. If we don't really try to focus on this, people are not able to cooperate with each other, to express opinion and emotions appropriately, to lead a team and be part of a team, to collaborate using digital media, to be flexible in approach in negotiations. Some people are so hard in negotiations that they never really discuss an outcome. To be responsive to others' opinions and needs. What I think is important, but what others think is also important, equally important. To give and accept constructive feedback. I mean, especially for teachers, it is important because most of the time we are telling the students what to do, what not to do. It is, if we get feedback from students, not just the form, is it, you just go pick up one, but real constructive feedback, it will help us improve as teachers. Critical thinking skills, what will be covered in those? Discover new ideas, analyze information critically, which we'll do tomorrow, inshallah. To interpret information for bias, to check facts, to use reasoning, which people have forgotten now. I don't know why it has become a world phenomenon. People are not using reasoning to find out of the box solutions, etc., etc. Communication skills, to be an active listener, to give effective oral presentation to audience from diverse background. Because we don't know who's where in which town, but all of us are glued together. We are together in this webinar. And people have different backgrounds from North India, from South India, within India, outside India. To meaningfully engage in a conversation. It's not kitty party where people, just talk about nonsense and go home. Meaningfully engage. To inform, support arguments and claims, and to explain one's point of view. This is so important in having a harmony in a society when you can explain your point of view and support it with arguments. We can build a better world. Let's see. This is sample 3. Same thing, 21st century skills. And it has its own charm. They have put it like 3. I have not done it. I have borrowed it, taken it from somewhere else. Foundational knowledge. What the students will need to know. They'll need to know digital or ICT literacy, information and communication technology, which the schools, colleges are doing. Core content knowledge, syllabus, exams, etc. Cross-disciplinary knowledge, like in environmental studies and all, people are doing some kind of cross-disciplinary knowledge. They are teaching cross-disciplinary modules to students. And somebody is writing on my screen. And we need humanistic knowledge to value. This is like, this part is being done, job skills. What about life skills? Not enough attention. Ethical and emotional awareness. Excuse me. Not enough. We are not doing enough. Cultural competence. All cultures are different. Why are we thinking my culture is big and the other person's culture is not good enough? We have to accept everybody's culture. Cultures are different. Let me see, somebody is writing on my disable annotation. Okay, but how do I erase it? And meta-knowledge. This meta-knowledge is important. What it is? Meta-knowledge is knowledge that you have. Knowledge that you have about what others know and do not know.
Professor Arnett, sir.
And third point about meta-knowledge is, it is knowledge about what information others need. Knowledge that you have about what others know and do not know, and knowledge about what others need. And this is where the whole marketing business works. But we can use it for education purposes, for building more harmonious societies. Part of meta-knowledge is creativity and innovation, problem solving and critical thinking, communication and collaboration. As I told you, just hold on for a second and I'll talk about...
Arunesh sir, kindly mute your video and audio.
Yeah. So, I want to tell you just two words. One, IT skills. Whatever we teach our students, it has a very short shelf life because so much innovation is taking place. And teachers will need to continuously update their IT skills throughout their teaching career. Like nobody uses floppies now, nobody uses CD writers. They have all become obsolete. And now this part which I told you, I'll talk about it in a minute, that is financial literacy. This is some 21st century skills list include financial literacy, but it is usually not put. Financial literacy will be an extremely important skill to survive in the 21st century. And teachers must acquire financial literacy skills beyond operating a bank account or investing in the stock markets. Why? This is a friend of mine, Sophie. She lives somewhere in US, I don't remember which town. She has this website, A and B makes 3. This is aandbmake3.org. And look at what her tagline is: fighting poverty through financial literacy. We are not talking about just investing money in the stock market. She is doing it. She runs this, how to say it? It's not exactly it's a social enterprise she has, through which she teaches money management. Her program is helping people get out of debt, manage expenses, save, set up businesses, etc. And this is all from her website, striving to reduce poverty and vulnerability through financial education. Her program Vision, a world where money is a tool to grow ourselves and our communities rather than a goal or a tool of oppression. Where financial hardships do not prevent children and adults from getting education, and where money is a tool to grow our most precious asset, that is ourselves. And her total program is based on these principles. Money is social. When we spend, save, invest, or run a business, it impacts others. For us, a financially literate person is someone who does not harm others when managing money. I mean, I just want to ask, isn't it a fantastic program if we teach this? Where money does not harm others, when you manage your money in such a way that it doesn't harm others. If you have time, please see it. And Sister Priyanka and others, if you want to get in touch with us, with her, you can of course find her address or you can contact me. Thank you. And this. Now we come to the main aspect. The tools that teachers need to integrate 21st century skills into everyday learning tasks without deviating from the syllabus. How we can do it? The students find a task meaningful if it can engage them, number one, intellectually, number two, emotionally, and number three, physically, all three. Not just intellectually, not just emotionally, not just physically. How can we do that? So, the tool one, it is an old tool, domains of learning. Most of us know what they are. 3 domains of learning are psychomotor, that is physical activity, cognitive skills of mind, they are thinking skills, and affective, feelings and emotions. And these, most of the time we ignore these feelings and emotions, but this is where attitudes are formed, people get motivated, people acquire values, and they are willing to participate in their education, in doing something for the world at large. So one tool is we can use this, what do we call, 3 domains of learning in our learning tasks. Developing students' higher order thinking skills we can do by engaging them. What we can do by engaging them intellectually, what we can do is we can use Bloom's taxonomy. Now, Bloom's taxonomy is now old, honestly, and it has been criticized for so many other things. Because when Bloom proposed this, he had this idea that first you must learn remembering, then only you will learn understanding, then you will learn applying, then you cannot simply go and learn understanding without remembering. But now with the scans, MRI scans and other advances in technology, we can look at the brain as somebody is learning. Here's a small child. You can look at the brain. Which side is lighting, which side is not lighting. So, but it has a use, Bloom's taxonomy. I don't agree completely with complete Bloom's taxonomy, but it has a use and we'll use it. These 6 sections are called 6 domains of Bloom's taxonomy. And this Bloom's taxonomy is actually part of cognitive skills. These are also proposed by Bloom, Benjamin Bloom. These are also called 6 domains of educational goals because education always has a goal. You don't give your students something to do which has no goal. And because education finally leads to creation of knowledge, acquisition of knowledge, so these are also called 6 domains of knowledge. How to remember this? Actually, you know, what you can do is we can make an acronym because we'll find how we can use it. Remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. According to Benjamin Bloom, as we go up, people use it more often. But the top one, creating, people use it less often. but these are very, very highly useful to people. The upper domains, these are not so useful as remembering and understanding. This doesn't mean remembering has no value. It has a value. If I don't know where I put my car keys, I wouldn't know where is my house key. So everyone is important, but the higher domains are extremely important. You will see most of the teaching done in developing countries is in the lower domains. Understanding and remembering. From applying onwards is done very little. Higher order thinking skills. Why those higher domains are important? Because if you will see here, creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying. Analyze, evaluate, create, apply. These are all higher order thinking skills referred to as HOTS. It's a concept in education. And it says examples are critical thinking skills, analyzing, reasoning, comprehending, application, evaluation, making a judgment, taking a decision. To do all this, we need this. Higher order thinking involves learning complex decision-making skills through which we apply a concept, we analyze a concept, we analyze the situation, we evaluate information, we create new knowledge, we solve problems, as in problem solving, we think critically, because now people are not thinking critically. If people start thinking critically, this world will be a better place to live. And higher order thinking skill is more valuable to learner because it can be used in situations which are very different from which learner learned it. What we'll teach them in our schools and colleges, if we teach them higher order thinking skills, our students will be able to use them outside the school or college in the real world, and not that just now, but forever. And they can use it to learn new skills. In other words, we can say higher order thinking skills that a student learns in the classroom can be used in real life anywhere, anytime in the world. And if we compare, see, Bloom's taxonomy, creating, evaluating, analyzing, all three are on the top. Applying is in the middle, applying is in the middle. Higher order thinking skills again, understand and remember at the bottom. So if you just remember this, keep it at the back of your mind as a teacher, when you are designing learning tasks for your students, you would know in which domain you are operating, in which domain your student will be operating while trying to complete this task. So you can remember just this word, RUAP-NAC. It's an acronym, R for remembering, U for understanding, AP for applying, AN for analyzing, E for evaluating, and C for creating, RUAP-NAC. We cannot change, though there are two A's, but we cannot bring analyzing down, we cannot take applying up. This goes like this. Okay, any question? Then if there is no question, then only I'll go on example, but I want to take a break and just tell me any questions so far.
Participants can ask your questions through the chat box.
Any question? Because then we'll get into the practical aspect.
Participants can ask your questions
No question? Then we go. Why keep it silent? Okay. So what we'll do is we'll look at some examples where all these three are integrated.
Correct.
Okay. Let us.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir. You can ask.
Yeah, please. Thank you, madam.
Yep.
What's the level for arts and science college students? Either it be from K1 to K3, or can we go up to K4 or K5, K6? Like that. For engineering college students, we can move up to K6. Then what about arts and science college students for the level?
That because I'm not part of this college, so I wouldn't be able to answer that question. What we can do is we'll keep it to the end. We'll ask the people who work in that college. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you?
Okay, thank you. I'll ask the question personally, please. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. So this example is like you can, if a teacher is teaching botany or home science or English, you talk about fruit, something so simple, because I have chosen extremely simple examples because I don't know what subjects which teacher is teaching. So let us say teacher A gets into the classroom and she uses a book or a chart and she teaches the names of the fruits. She brings 5 fruit and she shows them to the students. So she's already trying to go a little beyond the rote, learning rote teaching. Now teacher B, she brings 5 fruit to the class. She introduces the names of the fruit. She focuses the students' attention on their color, size, and texture. And when she does that, see, what do the students learn? They learn to appreciate nature. They learn about diversity of living things. Then she tells the students that fruit change color as they ripe. Unripe fruit are either green or dull in color. They taste bland, sour, or even bitter. They become sweet when they ripe. So she's giving them extra information how fruit becomes sweet because sugar is made. Then she cuts all fruits except grapes, and she tells them that cutting fruit, you just cannot, apple is cut differently than, apple and guava are cut differently than orange. And of course, watermelon is cut differently. So there are ways to cut. And then she focuses the students' attention on the inner look of the fruit. Again, the student is learning to appreciate nature and about the diversity of living things. She even cuts some grapes and shows, see what's inside. These are the seeds. If we put them in the soil, they'll grow. She cuts small pieces of fruit, except grapes, of course, and puts a toothpick in each piece. And then she tells that some people in North India eat fruit with salt. So they're learning about other cultures. And she instructs the students that she's going to offer it to them. But even if they don't like, they should not spit it on the floor. So she's teaching them etiquette.
Thank you, madam.
And after eating, she says, oh, don't spit out seeds.
What's the level for
toothpick on the floor,
arts and science college students?
It in the trash bin.
Either it be from K1 to K3 or can we go up to K4 or K5, K6? Like that. For engineering college students, we can move up to K6. Then what about?
So I wouldn't be able to answer that question. As she added, what we can do is we'll keep it to the end. We'll ask the people who work in that college. Is that okay with you? We'll make use of live chat. Is that okay with because you? When participants open because I have chosen unmute their mic, extremely simple examples because I don't know what subjects which I think it is teaching that way. So let us say teacher A gets into the classroom and she uses a book or a chart and she teaches the names of the fruit. Now let us take, she brings 5 fruit to the class, she introduces the names of the fruit, another focuses the students' attention on their color, size and texture. Can a KG teacher use that pedagogy to students learn? They learn KG teacher, yes or no? Nature, she does the same case teacher, what sour or even bitter. Can she do it? They become sweet when they write. With the small children, she's giving them extra information how fruit becomes sweet because sugar is made. Then she cuts all fruits except grapes, and of course watermelon is cut differently. So there are ways to cut. And then she focuses the students' attention on the inner look of the Priyanka. Again, the student is learning to appreciate nature and about the diversity of living things. A teacher will cut some grapes and shows teacher bees, and then she way of teaching. Some people in North pedagogy eat for KG salt. The students they are learning about other cultures. She instructs the students that she is going to offer it to them.
Yes,
but yes, she can. Even if they don't. That is the beauty. If you know these tools, you can adjust at which level. And after what will be different is the learner.
What's the level for
the floor? But you can use the same pedagogy to teach KG students and also to higher level students. I'm not saying that you can do it with all skills, with all tasks, but there are many where you can do it. Let us take how. This is one of the very famous poems of Wordsworth. English. And this is part of your college syllabus, actually. And it says, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in a sprightly dance. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. You can read these 2 stanzas also. The waves beside them dance. But they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Now my question is, if we are teaching this poem, can an English teacher involve teaching some of the 21st century skills by taking daffodils to the class, like the other teacher has taken some fruit to the class, making students smell their fragrance. Oh, they smell so beautiful. And tell them about their significance in certain cultures. For example, daffodils have a huge importance in Chinese New Year. Has anyone seen daffodils? Just tell me yes or no. Has anyone seen daffodils? Anyone seen?
No, ma'am.
No, yes, no, anything?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, okay.
Yes.
These are the daffodils. And these I grew for Chinese New Year. Just see how beautiful they are. And once you enter the house, the whole house is so fragrant, so beautiful. Now my point is, if we keep teaching poem like this, without letting our students know it like this, isn't it sad? Isn't it sad? So, example 3, subject. You can teach you are teaching any language. So the teacher's objective is writing in the past tense. She is teaching writing in the past tense using simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and used to. Because I saw you are still teaching college students how to write correct tenses. So what this teacher did, 2 tasks are there. She asked her students to interview your mother about what life was like for her when she was your age and write a report in 500 words. And she had another task, interview your mother and grandmother about what life was for them when they were your age and write a report in 500 words. Now see what all she has added here. Instead of just asking them to write sentences in using past tense or something very boring, she has created so much importance. She has included so many skills for her students. She has included communication skills because the student has to go home and talk to her mother or to grandmother, and they will learn how to appreciate mother as an individual, not just as mother, wife, cook, house cleaner, etc. We really need to educate our societies about the value of a mother as a human being. Now, knowing grandparents through mother, even if the students are not interviewing grandmother, they'll know something about grandparents through the mother. So there is the tradition which will be passed on. Learning about family and local traditions. Maybe mother came from some other part of India or some other country, so they learn about that. Awareness of changes occurring in the cities and towns. This may involve information about migration from rural to urban areas or from urban to rural areas. So they are becoming very aware just by interviewing their mother. Awareness about changes in technology, house gadgets, etc. Did she have a mobile phone? No, she didn't have. They are very awareness of the changes in society, how a girl child was treated at the time when mother was young. It will bring an awareness and understanding of gender issues. And if they are interviewing both mother and grandmother, they also, some more skills are added. This task will engage students in using higher order thinking skills by comparing life at grandmother's time with life at mother's time and life in student's time. So just by twisting, tweaking your learning task, you can add so much value to the learning task where students can practice. Because you remember what we found about the skill, a student has to practice again and again and again. So teacher's task is to give such learning task where students practice those skills which they must know to live and work in 21st century. Now let's see this one, subject botany. Now this red leaves, they are called poinsettia, and every time it's Christmas, we see them. What I'm going to do is just, okay. There are 10 questions, and I want somebody to answer very quickly, yes or no, so that we can, in the live chat box. These are 10 questions, and I want to know which of the following questions about photosynthesis and food chain. Photosynthesis and food chain will give students practice in learning some of the 21st century skills. If the question is what is photosynthesis, will the students get any practice in learning some of the 21st century skills, yes or no? What is photosynthesis? Does it give any practice in 21st century skills? Anyone answering, sister?
This one, the answers from Manimehalai Rajan. Preparing food by help of light is photosynthesis in plants.
Sister, my question, I'm sorry. My question is not that what is photosynthesis. I know you are all teachers, you all know. We all know it. My question is that If a teacher is asking this question, gives her students this question to answer, will her students practice any of the 21st century skills? No.
No.
They can simply write photosynthesis is a process by which green leaves make starch. Finish. And even if they don't understand the starch or the spelling of photosynthesis, even then they can memorize and give you an answer. They are not practicing any of the 21st century skills. Look at question number 2. And I want you to give me an answer very, very quickly. Name the process by which green leaves make starch. Does it involve any of the 21st century skills? Yes or no?
No, no.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Can red leaves of poinsettia, this plant, make a starch? No. Students will say yes or no. It is not leading to any significant knowledge and absolutely no practice in learning 21st century skills. Why green plants are called producers? Because they can make their own food. And we all depend on green plants. So again, not much. Why green? Number 6. What may happen to the population of snakes if all the mice are killed? In this, if all these are killed, what will happen to the snake? Oh, snake will have nothing to eat, so snakes will also start dying. They'll be hungry. Some understanding, not much. Not what we mean by 21st century skills. How energy from the sun is transferred to green leaves, explain the process. There is some understanding, there is some application, but again, students may answer this question completely from memory. Question number 8. A food chain shows the transfer of energy within an ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Again, though there is some understanding involved, but the students can still answer this kind of question using rote learning, memorization. Number 9 and 10. Make an animated video about 3 minutes to explain food relationships in diagram 2 in this, because it's more complicated. Number 10, write a play for 6 to 7-year-old children using food relationships in diagram 1 or 2, duration 8 to 10 years. And just see how much fun it will become if they are writing a play for children. So somebody will become a goat, somebody will become a wild cat, somebody will become, so you need props. Let me see if I have put, no. How come I have not put? Okay. So there is so much involved. Though it looks a very, very simple task, write a play for 6 to 7 years old children using food relationships. And it is very, very creative. Now,
click on the section and the section 2 of 2 and this section 1 of 1.
Okay, this question 9 and 10. I want to know, of course, no task can include all the skills. Does it include, does it give an opportunity to students to learn any of these 21st century skills? Number 1, cultural competence. It may come when we are talking about food. Somebody will say, no, we should not eat animals, you know. We should be vegetarian. So there will be something about cultural competence. We can talk about ethical and emotional awareness. Yeah, you cannot just kill all animals. So what do? Life. Job skills may or may not come unless somebody is trying to be a zookeeper or environmentalist. Some life skills, yes, you will, but again, students may answer this question completely from memory. Digital literacy, yes, because if question number 8, number 9, a food chain shows the transfer of energy within an ecosystem and how to add it and how to again voice and commentary. Though there is some understanding involved, whatever, but the students can still answer this kind of question that will be directly connected using rote learning, memorization. That is being number 9 that they are creating, but they are actually creating knowledge. Make an animated video about 3 minutes to explain cross-disciplinary knowledge. Yes, because you cannot make a video without knowing, you know, You need number to know 10, write a play for 6 to 7 years old. You need to know how to use language, food relationships in diagram 1 or 2, duration, how to speak, how to record, and just see how much fun knowledge it will become. If they are writing a play, involved, innovation is involved, so somebody will become a goat, somebody will become a wise cat, somebody will become. So you need props. Let me see if I have overcoming several problems that will come. Critical thinking will, they'll definitely need to consider so much involved, including though it looks a very, very simple task, write a play for 6 to 7 years. They learn to prioritize which points they should take because there is a very, very there's a time limit. And communication and collaboration skills. If you make it a group task, they learn to collaborate and communicate with each other. Okay. So tasks like question 9 and very, very simple. I want to know. Of course, no task can include all multiple skills. Does it include and having the skills? These skills they learn more skills give an opportunity to students to learn any of these 21st century skills. So when number one, we go back cultural competence, the versatility. It may come when we are talking about food. Can apply depth of somebody will say no, we should not eat animals. Widening the scope of situation. We should be vegetarian, so there will be something about cultural competency. We can talk about building relationships and yeah, you cannot just kill all animals. So much of it. What do we do? Life, practice, job skills may or may not come unless somebody is trying to be a zookeeper or so. What can we conclude? We can conclude the teachers can some life many of the students may answer this question completely from memory. Digital literacy know about yes, because if question number 9 of learning, a food chain shows the transfer of knowledge within it. You can even how to add it, script, classroom, or stream, etc. Though there is some understanding involved, whatever include the skills that is because as teacher you must be directly connected using knowledge skills, memorizing you can number transfer that they are creating, but they are actually creating make an animated video. Point number 2 is it is not possible to cross-disciplinary knowledge in all 21st century because it is all the task, but teachers must be you need number 10 write a play for 6 to 7 years old of them know how to use food relationships in diagram 1 or 2 and this how to speak, how to record, just see how much fun knowledge become university. If they are writing a play, how we children, you know, so somebody will become a goat, problem solving because they have grandmother, father, and assignment problems. Let me see. Overcoming several problems that will come. Critical thinking, they'll definitely. You can use all these strategies. There's so much involved. Though it looks a very, very simple task, write a play. Not only to college, they learn to prioritize food points they should take because and it is very well the time. Kindergarten teachers because communication and collaboration skills. If you make it a group time, they'll learn to collaborate with college and university. Okay. So tasks will be masters of these skills, and that is where their learning will start. And they'll, inshallah, go up. They'll do PhDs. They'll get specific knowledge. And any question we can take. How much time is left, sister? I think it should be over. How much time is left, sister? Sister Priyanka?
Yes, ma'am.
How much time is left? Time must be up.
Okay, the time's up, ma'am.
Yeah.
So,
any question you want to take, you want to keep it for tomorrow, it's up to you. And I respect your decision.
okay. Participants can ask any questions. Participants. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. There is no questions in the chat box.
Thank you so much.
Your session was very nice and very informative for all the teachers. We have enjoyed a lot.
That's your kindness.
So there are so many positive comments from the chat box, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So we can all help each other and learn, as sister has recited in the beginning in the prayer.
This is a wonderful session and informative and very excitement. Very informative sessions. Namita from this is very wonderful session. Okay, ma'am. Can you conclude, ma'am?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, ma'am. Participants, today we will send the attendance link included with 5 questions. Please kindly answer your attendance and answer the questions.
Can I say something? There is somebody has put a comment here, but these 9 and 10 are not suitable for small kids. Keep it in mind. We'll talk tomorrow. It is suitable for
Yes,
small.
ma'am. The questions from Namita. 9th and 10th questions are the best option for the learning 21st century skills.
No, there is one which says, but these 9 and 10 not suitable for small kids. They will not be able to make videos on their own. So we'll teach them, you know, how to work with their parents or how to work with older children in the school or college and work.
Okay.
We can make. Yeah, thank you so much.
So, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Participants, kindly use the same link for the tomorrow sessions. We will meet you tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you, ma'am. We will meet you tomorrow.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you.
And vanakkam.
Participants, complete your day 1 assignments and answer your attendance.